Forget the excitement that Chennai gave you right at the end over there. The fact is that this was a flawlessly executed chase by the Chennai Super Kings, getting to 176. They may have got there with just one ball to spare, but it's really not as close as these numbers tell you. We'll show you the match summary. And there you go, Chennai picking up the 2 points nice and easy with 6 wickets to spare. Shane Watson today really on fire. Well, he came good. This is the thing about him. He comes good, and he comes good, and how? So this just amazing. 96 to 53. A good innings by Raina as well at a good clip. So two guys who had not been getting big runs. They got the big runs. They got them at a good pace today and making sure that CSK gets there easy. Hello and welcome to MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Shaun Pollock here. He may not be sitting on the MPL Super Couch, but he's very happy that he did get this right, saying today the players who have not got runs will get runs, and Shane Watson just does it. Well done, Mr. Pollock.
Oh, you just get a gut feel, you know. So when you're a selector and a coach, you've got to just back your man and hope that he comes good. He played nicely. He struggled to start, to be honest. There was a few deliveries up front there where I thought, he's looking like he's out of touch. But then he found the middle a couple of times and went on to get that big score. So that sets things up nicely for CSK. They were dead keen for some of the guys to get some time in the middle and get some runs under their belt. So that's worked out perfectly.
Excellent. Also, do you, this premonition that you have, do you use that for like lottery numbers as well?
I could tell you.
Yeah, 10%.
But then you'd have to disappear.
There's a lot of people out there watching going, yes, please, Shaun, do it, make him disappear. But today, Shane Watson, once he got in, he made everything disappear.
Yeah, he did, and he certainly paid back. All the confidence that Mahendra Singh Dhoni and CSK has shown with him. It just shows you that, why, Chennai does that. And the difference between how Chennai looks at a player and other teams is it's not the roles that you play. It's the player, and when you get in on a good day, can you take the side through? And that's exactly what he did. It's not about bits and pieces. It's not about the jigsaw puzzle. Everyone is a big jigsaw puzzle. On your day, you got to win the game. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. It was fabulous to watch.
That's why he's our MPL hero of the match. You saw that. You get 96 runs. You get them at that strike rate of 181. And remember, he played out the first over as a maiden, didn't he?
I think the first 2 overs, they had 2 runs.
Yep. Yeah.
Him and Faf had 1 apiece. Yeah. So, and we got some stats in that the last time he played out a maiden against Boovie, against SRA.
In the
he went on to get 100. So I don't know what he was doing this time. 4 runs short. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. He didn't apply himself fully.
Wake up. Come on.
Come on, man. Give us the... we love trivia. We love this trivia. We love these little stories. What a great story it would have been that every time Watson plays out a maiden, he scores 100. He's really messed it up for us today. It's taken a good story away. But he's been the great story today, in all fairness. While we're talking about him, let's not rule out the contribution of Suresh Raina on the other side. Ajay, you lose Faf early on a run out, which... I don't know, man. We saw it. We were like, well, I don't know.
If you're a CSK fan, you'd say, he made it and it looked like the bat had gone in.
I was not so sure.
That was an instance where you see what bowlers did. We keep talking at times, it's the effect of a period that makes you do things. That run out was purely because of the first over that he talked about and the second over, because they were both struggling. It was the 11th ball of the game. You still hadn't got, you'd got 1 run. So that pressure actually forced him to run. And even an experienced player like Faf, this is what happens when you put pressure. And this, I keep harping and I talk about this, that I don't see anybody trying to, get any batsman to take that single. The first run's always handed over to the opposition. So when you put that pressure, things like this happen.
Yeah.
And then Raina walked in first ball. I thought Raina actually took the pressure away from Shane Watson when he was batting. It was the 5th or the 6th over when they really started going. They made sure that they were settled in there, and then that 5th and the 6th over really turned the chase around. And it's good because Raina's been struggling as well. So Chennai's got a bonus of 2 points, and they've got two players back in form, and the opposition will fear them even more.
SRH say run out. CSK say run out in. South African captain, out. I was being impartial. Out.
On your bike, mind. On your bike. A lot of the SRH bowlers were put on their bike today by the CSK batsmen, weren't they? Look at this bowling card, and it's really sort of depressing reading if you're a Hyderabad fan. And the most depressing reading actually is the fact that they didn't really have a sixth bowling option. And when Sandeep went for those runs, he had gone for, what was it? He had gone for like 45 or something in the first three. And he just didn't, they didn't have an option.
Yeah, I think it was a disappointing performance from him. I mean, sometimes you do target a particular bowler. You say, listen, we want to go after him. I think the biggest surprise is
down at the
SRH. Yeah, they tend to bank on Rashid Khan going for maybe 24, not 44. So they'll be a little bit disappointed. But it was a nice little battle, wasn't it, between Watson and Rashid Khan, staring each other down. And Watson got the better of him and hit some big blows. So it's an impressive performance for him.
But here again, it was the captain all the way, right? I mean, it was Bhuvi. You bowl your 4 overs with Watson going, with Raina going, with everyone else. Bowled them at 18. He's bowled those 4 overs for 18 runs. So he's kept his pressure going, which is good for SRH. It's good for India to see that he's there. He's getting that ball to shape a bit. He's bowling a good line and length.
Yeah.
Sandeep, though, especially in that third over, he got his length all wrong. I mean, Shaun will probably add in on that as well. He just conceded 20 runs that over. He was pretty much in Watson's wheelhouse.
Yeah, you almost felt like he should have gone for different variations rather than just following up delivery after delivery. It was almost like there was a lot of balls that were hittable. And I think that's an art to bowling in the T20 format, is to try and second guess what the batsman's are going to do and keep him guessing by mixing things up and not being too predictable at times. When there's a guy who's set, you've got to mix it up. When there's a guy who's new at the crease, then you can just stick to your guns and try and string to get as many dot balls as possible.
Ajay, you had a really good point, and you have a lot of very good points.
Oh, thank you.
But you had a very good point because I asked you, I remember, I was like, well, how does Shane Watson not look drained and affected by the humidity, and how's he not collapsing while everybody else seemed like they were huffing and
because
puffing?
he is not the fittest. He's at the end of his career. Not, I shouldn't say the end, but towards the end. He's not the swiftest of players, but because he plays in Chennai, he's played long enough there, they've probably figured out, Warner and Manish Pandey were, running helter-skelter. They were, taking those twos, which looks good, and that's what you want all the time. But, this team thinks of cricket differently. They kept it calm. It wasn't about making that second run, because they understand that one run, if you run twice, thrice, 4 times, it's only 4 runs. But what it takes away from your body is totally different. So he was calm, he was hitting those boundaries, and then even when it went into the deep, I don't think they ran that hard, and they understand that. And maybe because the wicket was also flat enough, you could do that. Whereas the opposition team, when they come to Chennai, they don't figure these things out. And by the time when they're set and when they can actually strike, they've lost all their energy. Yeah, he had all the energy. And you saw David Warner get out today. You saw even Shane Watson at the end. I mean, that fitness, which if I had to, if you had to compare it, what would you say? If Warner's 80%, where is Watson? 30?
I think Warner would be more like 95%.
Okay, so Watson would be...
Maybe 70.
Okay, 70. So, but then 70 lasted much longer.
Yeah.
So it's the gas in the tank.
Yeah.
I mean, how you use it. So Warner and Manish Pandey probably used it more for running, and Watson just...
You mustn't push the accelerator. You must freewheel every once in a while.
Yeah.
To save the gas.
That's what he was doing. He's like, there's no point running 2 and then not being able to hit the next ball. Let me just get 1. Let the other guy hit it. He'll take a 1, then I'll go. Because if I go and I connect, I get a 4 or a 6.
You can do that when you have a wicket like this. If we were playing on that 130, 140 wicket, you don't get that many strikes, or the ball's not in the slot as often, or it's not easy to strike. Then you need to run and get whatever you can. Because, even if it goes in the gap, the ideal thing is to do that. But if there is a tank that you have, and if it's not going to last 40 overs, then how do you use it well? They probably showed you how well to use optimizing your resources.
Optimize your resources. And the other point you had, and I think this is also understood, like you get an opener in there where, let him take his time, right? But when he comes good and it's his day, he's going to do what Watson did. He has the ability to pretty much just, on a big ground, hitting sixes almost at will, he was.
Yeah, I think you've got to understand your individuals. I mean, Watson has always had the ability to clear the fence. At will, he can pick out certain deliveries. If, for example, someone like Parthiv Patel at the top of the order, he can't afford to take his time in that first 6, because once that 6 gone, he's not a boundary hitter who can just clear anyone who's back on the fence. Whereas Watson's strong, and whether it's off the spinners or the seamers, if he gets it in the middle, he's clearing the fence on all grounds. So I think that's where he backs himself. Du Plessis is very similar. You know, they don't mind chewing up a few balls up front, just to get used to the surface, because it's not an easy surface when you first come in, and then they cash in later on. They know that they can do the damage then. So it's interesting to watch them, CSK, how they put people under pressure. Like we were all expecting Dhoni to come in with 2 overs to go. No, it's actually time for you guys to step in. In you go, that's your chance.
Yeah.
It's not that pressurous situation, but let's see what you can do. And I think that's good. It creates a good team vibe, you know, where the management or the captain or the rest of the team, they believe in you. And you've got that gun finisher in Dhoni, but every once in a while it's like, your turn to take the heat. Let's see what you can do, and they've got over the line, so good for them.
Yeah, and Kedar Jadhav.
And I didn't say PP this time.
Oh, poor guy, he's half Watson's size. By the way, did you see Watson's triceps today? I was looking when he was hitting the ball. I was seeing those. I was like, oh, boy's been spending some time in the gym. The guy's, every year he comes back, he gets a little more, right? He's got a little more, the biceps, the triceps are getting a little more. And obviously with those kind of guns, he's gonna fire it like a cannon into the stands. He really did. One of them hit the stand and ricocheted back almost to the 30-yard circle. So, well, it really was Shane Watson's day. Got a feel from Manish Pandey. Comes into form. Hits a brilliant innings, but yesterday 100 finished on the losing side. So it's okay if an 80-odd finishes on the losing side. I guess that's just the game. For SRH, there's plenty to worry about, isn't it?
Yeah, because, they had a game in hand.
Yeah, they're 5-5 now.
Because this was an important one for them for qualifying. Now you bring Kings 11 back into the game.
Yeah.
Because had they won this, Chennai was still ahead, and with 10, and if they had 6 wins, then they would have had a game in hand and had a win. So you don't want to be in that number 4-5, because that battle is going to be tight. We're getting towards the end.
The thing they have got in their favour, net run rate.
Big
chance.
Big advantage.
It's like an extra point, because they're well ahead of anyone else, and as long as they lose tight encounters, they can still get to maybe 14 and get over the line. But they do lose Bester. I mean, he goes home tonight. I know he didn't make a massive contribution, but we'll have to see how Guptill goes, how he fits in, and whether he can offer the similar kind of firepower. The sooner you get over the line, it's much more comfortable for you as a team. When you know you've qualified, and then you can almost experiment and give some of the squad members an opportunity. But they won't be able to. They've still got to play some good cricket and make sure they win 2 more.
Yeah, because for Sunrisers Hyderabad now 5 out of 5, and they're looking at this and going, all right, man, I don't know. Don't look that easy no more. Don't look that easy. All right, well, so I think that wraps up that. We've got a Super Team hero. Let's see how many points you've got today on Super Team. Come on, bring it up. Where is it?
Explain to me, how do you get 400? I always see 350s or 60s.
We've been getting a few 400s.
Have we?
Yeah. Somebody gets their selection super right. 4! Mahendra Prabhu Vishwa Ganesh. When you've got the names of so many gods in your name, gods on your side today, plus he's got Mahendra in his name, so he's got everything going for him.
Yeah, especially when Chennai is playing or India is playing.
What's maximum?
Maximum
amount of points you could get?
The sky is the limit.
Sky is the limit, okay.
Yeah. Somebody got 450 once as well.
Sure.
Come, you and me.
Proper selector, that one.
Yeah, proper selector.
So 400, as you say, is good when the total is 190, 180, or can you get 400 even if it's a 130 game?
Oh no, he's asking me stats questions again.
No,
he does this. I'm going to get you the answer.
I have no clue with
I'm going to get you the answer. So basically, if the game is above 175, then 389 is the average. But if the game is 150 in the first innings, about 130 in the second innings, then 400 comes into play. But usually it's around 350. But if it's a Tuesday and you've not had eggs for breakfast, then you can get a 450.
Noted.
So eggs tomorrow for dinner.
Yeah.
Breakfast?
No, he only has breakfast with champions. He doesn't have he has dinner with the legend.
Okay.
That's right, I do. Look at these legends over here. And of course, the legend who got the Super Team today, you're the hero. And in case the rest of you want to be legends and you can't do it in Super Team, you can do it in some other games on MPL. You have Pro Cricket, you have Run Out. So there's plenty of chances for you to be a legend. Try some of the other games. Talking about other games, tomorrow, there's an exciting one. There's Ashwin on one side, there's Virat Kohli on the other. There is a team that has lost 3 of their last 4 and a team that has won 3 out of their last 4. And it's not what you think it is. RCB is the one who won 3 of their last 4, and Punjab have lost 3 of their last 4. They're playing in Bangalore. It's going to be an interesting encounter. I don't know if you can call favourites on this, prima facie, right up front.
Homecoming of Gale to Bangalore, where
Yeah.
he's batted so well so many times. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, they'll drop him.
Leave him out.
Punjab just does something like that, right? Where you just... The funny thing is, I'm saying it to be outrageous and perhaps funny, but with Punjab, you never know. It just, they throw that.
Yeah, they've changed their side depending on the surface and looking at the opposition. And I think they have a system out there they're working with, and Ashwin's pretty happy doing that. That's the kind of person he is. He likes to push the envelope. I think that's the line that I picked from him. He always has done that when it's playing, whether he's bowling. So he's always trying things.
Yeah.
And at times it works, at times it doesn't work. But it'll be interesting to see because this is a matchup.
But by the way, it's not even a homecoming just for Gale. There's a homecoming for almost 5 or 6 players in Kings XI Punjab.
that's what I
they've
was
been with RCB or they're Karnataka players.
So Sarfraz, KL Rahul,
Gale, Karun Nair, Mayank Agarwal.
Mayank Agarwal. So the batting lineup for Kings 11 is actually
Is going to be going into the home
Royal
dressing room.
Challengers.
They go to the home dressing room and say, no, sorry.
So
That's right.
the complimentary section of the ground will be full.
It will be full. You won't get any passes tomorrow. Both teams will need equal number of passes.
But the thing about the RCB performance is they actually haven't had a convincing win yet. So the track record shows that they're coming in with 3 wins, but they're not going in 3 wins. They're going in, 3 wins. It's like we've just snuck over the line. So they'll be hoping for a really convincing performance. If they get a really convincing performance, they have to win. Otherwise, they haven't got a chance. But if they get a really convincing performance tomorrow, then I think they can actually maybe have a little bit of belief that we might just squeak in and then see what we can do. Yeah. But if they don't get that convincing one at some stage, I don't think they're going to be able to get over the line.
That's a really good point. They've got the players to do it. They've got the players to do it.
100%.
We'll show you.
And I think Dale Steyn probably holds the key again tomorrow because Chris Gale and KL Rahul are the ones that you really would worry about in the opposition.
You get them up front.
If you get them up, and that's what Dale Steyn's been doing. He's been picking up those wickets. If the ball's coming back into the left-hander, and if you have a chance against Gale, it's right at the top. Yeah. So, but once he gets going, then there is no stopping him.
Selections.
Yeah,
Any changes? Akshdeep Nath, do you think he's playing tomorrow? He's got his chances.
Yeah, I don't know about this team at the moment. Pawan Negi, I don't. I mean, the way you use him, I look at a player how they've been using him. So I don't know whether
you think we could see Washington Sundar finally tomorrow coming in?
I don't know about him. I'm saying Akshdeep Nath and Pawan Negi in that side. There are enough players, or you could turn around and play differently. But again, it starts from the top. So I'm not convinced about that. He's done well. Last game, he was man of the match, actually. He's the one who won you that game with that throw. So not that that's going to change. But once you do that, see where you're going to set Virat. Virat has to open with him. Then AB can't go too far behind. So all the young guys, the Indian guys, if you want to use them, you've got to use them when it's slightly easier. Not easier is probably the wrong word, but when there isn't any pressure, where they can go out there and throw their bats and play freely. But you've been using them in a different phase. So if Moeen Ali works for you, Stoinis doesn't get enough time. I would have loved to see Stoinis and Virat Kohli open, then put in another young man in there at 3, say whoever they feel is right. Then you got Moeen Ali and AB de Villiers, whichever way you want to play. Because on a wicket like that, you don't want to waste those 20, 25 balls with somebody who's not going to take you through. Maybe, yes, if you're playing on a Turner 140, 160 game, yes, you throw in somebody who's only going to play 15, 20 balls and is throwing his bat. But we've seen that in a 200-run chase. How many times have we seen a 200-run chase or 190, what you saw today, without the openers going all the way? Because when the openers come in at over number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, those are the overs where the game probably turns around. If you have a guy who's batting at 30, 40, 50, he can actually make use of them. Yeah. But if you get in a new guy there, he takes a couple of overs and
slips away.
That's when it slips away.
Good point.
So their bowling's been fabulous, although they've got a lot of stick for that because they haven't been able to defend many scores. But I think the bowling's still been okay. It's the batting that's let them down.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the Punjab 11 as well. And we're giving Shaun Pollock the tough job of telling us what will change here.
I don't think they'll change much. I don't think they'll change.
You're taking the easy route out.
No, I am, but it's If you look at the reserves on the bench,
I think Mujib is still not fit, perhaps, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
isn't he?
No, Mujib still, I think, still the shoulder issue, so that's still dodgy. So he's probably not coming in there. You get a guy like Karun Nair, and he's just been warming the bench for most of this season.
Well, they might just consider Sam Curran. I think on certain surfaces, I think he's really good with his ability to bowl the cutters and maybe get some shape up front. But on a surface that you can get at Kings 11, I mean at RCB, his pace can almost be very hittable.
Yeah.
He comes on nicely where they can just stand and sort of smack him to all parts if it's not swinging. So that might be something they might tee up, but it'll be interesting to see.
Do you think instead of Sam Curran, if you just pull that up once again, instead of Sam Curran, perhaps they've got an Andrew Ty over there who has...
Does the same thing.
It says it's 26
Ty works when you're on a big ground and a slow, low wicket.
Yeah.
Bowls at the end, those slow ones.
Sorry,
On a
Ankit
wicket.
Rajput. Sorry, I was looking at Ankit Rajput. It's been impressive in the few chances that he's got.
Yeah.
Would this surface suit an Ankit Rajput kind of bowler?
I don't think it suits any bowler in that sense.
Fair
But yes,
enough.
if amongst the choices that you have with Ankit Rajput, he could go for plenty as well. But he has a chance of getting you a couple of wickets, and he's done well. So on flat wickets or bouncy wickets, he has played. So that could be one of. He only makes those changes with the bowling mostly.
Yeah.
He hasn't tinkered with the batting a lot. It was only Sarfraz who went out after that game. And Karun Nair came in for one game when somebody was injured.
Yeah.
So he hasn't tinkered much with his batting because he hasn't had to, because Gale's had success this year. KL's been fabulous. So then everything, flows from there. So batting hasn't been their trouble in that sense. But bowling is what he's always tinkered with. He's, looked
Has the
at the
same problem
surface.
that Bhuvi had today, which has only 5 bowlers. So if one of them goes,
Yeah.
then you have no recourse or no fallback at all.
And you do, as a team in the IPL, when you come up against a strong batting team, which RCB are supposed to be, you do think to yourself, be nice just to have that 6th bowling option so that if someone starts to disappear, particularly on that ground where it can be flat and the ball flies just the extra few meters. That's what they might think.
4 overs can feel really long, can't they?
Sure. Especially when that first one goes, you still got 3 to go.
Did you, do teams in this format think of picking a side, knowing there are certain grounds we see where the captain wins the toss and says, I want to field, or, I want to chase. Would you go into a team saying, listen, let's pick a team, the opposition is going to only field.
First, yeah.
So let's pick a side that we're going to bat first.
I think
Do you ever think like that?
Yeah,
Because
you do.
It's an important part of the game.
Yeah, you can get the initial advantage. So of that, there's no doubt. But I think what happens on that ground is due. They start to be concerned, so they always want to bowl first, particularly in the night games. If it's an afternoon game, then you might think of it differently. But I think there are surfaces around India in the IPL that play in a particular way. So you've got your ground in Chennai.
Yeah.
But I think RCB is just an absolute belter, and I've said it before on the shows that I think they should offer a little bit more for the bowlers because they've got the batting lineup, RCB, who can get runs on any surface. Yeah. And by making it an absolute belter, any team that comes there, if someone comes off, then they can compete with the best in the world. Where that's your strength. It's almost like having strength as a bowlers. They might have 3 spinners in your attack, and then you just play on an absolute flat surface that doesn't grip. What's the point of that? So I think they should give some assistance to their bowlers because their bowling's been where they've struggled for the 5, 6, 10 years that they haven't won the IPL. I think they should offer a little bit more. Their batters, De Villiers, Kohli, the Gales, the Dilshans, all the guys that they've had there are always going to get runs on a semi-decent surface anyway.
So
What
I meant was...
You see the glazed expression on my face. I start geeking out when these conversations are going.
No, because I'm saying the opposition is going to put you in.
Yes.
What if you decide that let's pick a side that we
No,
will
but
bat first?
he's
We're
saying-
talking about the due,
Yeah,
we
but
know all that.
how much different can you pick a side? Well, what
No,
will
because
you
you
do
could...
differently?
I'm just thinking 7 batsmen. Forget about bowling because, as it is, you're going for try and go from 200 to 240 or 230 because it's possible. now.
Oh man, that's
Yeah, well, maybe you can
Play differently.
maybe
High
you
risk,
can
high
do
risk.
that. You can do that having the thinking that you maybe leave a spinner out because it's going to be dewy and there's no chance of him actually going to turn the ball. And you say to yourself, they're going to win the toss and decide to bowl first because they don't want to bowl the dewy ball. So that is an option. It's a brave call. But I suppose, you've got to think outside the box at times. I just think both these teams are almost hoping for a victory rather than knowing that if they pick a certain team, they're going to get a victory. So they don't want to tinker too much. They just want to rock up and hope that everything falls into place. I think that's their thinking at this stage.
Yeah, well, we'll find out tomorrow who it falls into place for. It is, of course, going to be a high-scoring game. We can sort of safely predict that right now. Who did what in our Joy Factor question today? Which is going to bring the question back. And now Shaun knows.
I knew the answer all along.
He knew it. He bought me dinner, so he knows the answer. Which former junior field hockey star who represented his national schools team is the only player to score a first-class triple century 3 separate decades? Shares a first name with somebody who's related to Shaun. It's Graham Hick. 88, 97, 2002. No hiccups for the person who got the first answer in. Who was that? Who was it? It was it. Share us now, love. Share us now. It's Viraj Vaghela. Viraj, congratulations to you. You got the it's first-time winner also. Debutant winner. Well done. Good to see you, Viraj. First-time winner. Give a little applause. He'll be happy. He's got applause from.
I didn't know that Graham Hick can play with a stick.
Oh, nice.
No.
Nice. Whose jokes do you like more? His or mine? Take your pick. Okay, well, that's it. We're done now. We're done. We're dusted. We're out of here. We're going to see you, of course, tomorrow on MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. because just the one game tomorrow in Bangalore. And it's a really, really interesting game. And I'm sure you're going to join us while we talk about that. Big thank you to Mr. Ajay Jadeja. Big thank you, Mr. Shaun Pollock. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you luck with the MPL Super Couch tomorrow.
Yes, please. I'm feeling lonely here without my 2 balls.
I'm just sending you some winner's gold dust from this side. This is for you. I'm not here tomorrow, so I'm leaving it. You. For you is you. And meanwhile, this is me telling Ajit, Gadi Nikalo. Chalo, let's go. It's time to go. I'm Gaurav Kapur saying good night. Take care. Thank you for watching.